Hey, what's up, everybody? Looks like Bitcoin is continuing to pull back here. This is exactly what we talked about right here. Let me show you this. We had this area that we broke out of right there and kind of created this little sort of inverse head and shoulders pattern. And you can see it's definitely a very important area. So what we did was we broke out. We sort of meandered about on the top part of the bull market support band, and then we continued to come down, back testing this important area. So this is the big test. Can we hold above this back test level? Again, we've been talking about this for I think a couple of days now, coming back down here and back testing it, right? So let's talk about a few ideas. I want to get to XRP versus Ethereum. Look at this. XRP versus Ethereum on the, let's go to the 3-day chart. I mean, you can see it's looking quite bullish. And then also XRP versus Bitcoin. Looking a little better today. Let's see here. We go to the 4-hour chart. We got kind of a pump here off of this move, right? We've been talking about this as an ABC. So the question is it finished? You could make that case. We have 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Maybe this is 4. And then we come down for 5, but it's already sort of overlapping here. So if anything, I would remove that and maybe say we get a little bit of a pullback here. But we still haven't came down to test the bull market support band. I'm not sure how significant it is on the alt pairs, but yeah, we kind of want to see it finish out here, and but other than that, it looks really good for continuation. So but as far as the small time frames go, I mean, you can see, the market's a little bit down today, but if you look at XRP versus ETH, we're up about 4.5%. And XRP versus Bitcoin about 2.25. So not too bad, not too bad. And XRP itself, it was above 1% today, which is, it's consolidating. So, but we'll jump into XRP in a minute. Let me go back to Bitcoin and finish here. Let's remove the bull market support band. And do we have a sequential? Yeah, look at that. So we have a 4-hour 9 buy. Okay, that's pretty interesting, right? You can see, the 4 hours pretty decent at calling the 9s. Yeah, so we have this kind of like 3-wave shape here. Boom, 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 right? Obviously, we have a 9 and we're back testing it. So if we had a 9, here or here, I wouldn't really take it seriously. But since the 9 is perfected, and since the 9 is back testing, and actually it hasn't quite got down here yet, but yeah, so there's a couple little areas right in here. So I would say within this zone. So you could see we pierced through that zone, and we didn't close below it, which is, it's good. It's showing buyers are stepping up. So what I want to see for Bitcoin, today's Tuesday, so I want to see it kind of level out here for at least you guys see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 candles or so, kind of consolidating, build a little bit of a base here. And then ultimately, we want to get back to 63.5K. Okay, so between 63.5 and 64K, that's going to be the area for the retracement here. So that's kind of where we're going to want to see. So if I had to guess, let me go to the smaller time frames here. I don't think we have any divergence yet. See, we probably might make another low. We might have some kind of B wave and then make another low here. Maybe a diagonal or what have you. Kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And we want to see some divergence here. So this is what to look for. And we want to see an impulse. We want to see a three-way pullback, and that would be where I would consider taking a long if we had some setup like that. And then we start accelerating back to the upside, then we have the retracement levels to deal with, right? So then we'd probably have to come back and back test this level, right? And then hopefully continue higher. So that's basically the main idea. And what is the main idea when we look at it from a zoomed out sort of perspective, or at least on the 4-hour chart? Well, I'm thinking this is a diagonal, some type of leading diag. So I want to see something like this, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's come up here and get 5. And let's see. Yeah, so 5, the fifth wave. What's the target here? Let's see the retracement level. Well, the thing is, we already made it to the 786. So, which is good. So I wouldn't mind seeing it get to 67. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. This might take some time, right? So essentially, what we have is 3. Come on. 3 up, 3 down, and then we have 3 back up. This looks like 3 down, and then we want to see 3 back up. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some kind of diagonal shape. And then we would get the ABC pullback. That could take us even lower than we are now, right? So let me see here. Basically, that would be when we would start flagging out. Or we could be flagging out now. I mean, that's kind of the thing we want to see. I'd like to see another push to the upside and then kind of flag out in here and sort of confirm this whole area as support. Because we've bounced off it once. Let's come back up, maybe bounce off it again, and then continue up into that third wave. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be wave 1. And then we would have that flag. That would be wave 2. And that would be the gearing up phase for that wave 3. And then what we would have here is either a WXYXZ, or we have a this is a B, and this is C. So we have a complex B here, a flat for B, and then a C. So A, B, C. And then this is our first wave to the upside. So it's not complete yet. We still have a lot of work to do in here, but that's basically what we're looking for. And what if we're wrong? What if it starts to go down? What if it's not doing well? Well, then it could be some kind of flat here where we come up and maybe we come back down here to like 53, 52K. and then continue higher. So we would fall quite a bit. You can see all this liquidity here. Support, 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 support. So if we break that, there's a lot of liquidity right there, right? I can see them taking it up high, right? And then it could be a bigger diagonal. So we would have 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And then we break that top, perhaps, and we get that ABC, and then continue higher. So that, I mean, that takes time. Definitely will take time depending how it wants to roll out. So yeah, but that's some of the ideas here. I mean, if we go back in time, let's see, do I have the, I'm gonna have to go to another chart here. Let's see if there's any good examples. I mean, we're still also, you know, kind of following this fractal in here a little bit. So you can see one of the things though is that this came up and it never came back to backtest. It was just too big of a pump. I mean, the oversold conditions were so extreme that, you know, it kind of just leaped up instead of crawling up like it's doing now. But, you know, if I attach that fractal there, we could see something like this too, where we're just kind of, let me see if I could zoom in a little bit. You know, kind of just consolidating here and basically building a base right at that main pivot area, that main support area, right? So let me zoom out here. So that's going to be this area here, the exact area we talked about way down here when I was saying don't sell, right? Not financial advice, but don't sell, wait for it to come back, right? When we were in the middle of this dump, I said it looked an awful lot like back here in 2019. And sure enough, right, we came back up right in here, and then it decided to go up from that point. So that's kind of where we are now. We're sort of in that little threshold here. So I would like to see it. I mean, this is the main zone here, right? So if you take a retracement here, that's literally right in the golden zone, literally right between the 50, the 618, and the 702. I mean, that's it. So that's the main part we have to work through, right? So, you know, there's going to be, it's basically the battle is on between the bulls and the bears. Who's going to win this fight is going to determine up or down, right? But that's why, you know, we track it day by day, and, you know, we'll have an edge before that happens, and we can take appropriate measures based off whatever strategy you're using, right? For me, 90% hodl, 10% trade. If you want more in-depth details about things like that, you can just click join, and it's $3.99 a month. And I'll do 2 videos a month, basically going in depth of the strategy of how we're going to play this. Because this is really the inflection point here, right? It really comes down to, like I've been saying, you know, is this 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to get 5? I mean, that's my guess. That's what it looks like. That's what I am anticipating. But, you know, I could be wrong. And what else could it be? Well, we could be coming down back to 30K, a long ways down, right? That's a 50% crash down to 30K from where we are now. What is that? Yeah, about 50%. Look at that. So, and then what we would do is have some type of reaccumulation and then continue the bull run, right? Because at that point, everything would have been wiped clean. Leverage, right? Resetting the oscillators, resetting the chart, making everyone think the bear market is here, when in reality it's reaccumulation. Because what's going to happen is if we come down, people are going to start the 4-year clock. And they're going to say, okay, we got 4 years of this crap, right? But in reality, it's not going to be like that, right? This is still one cycle. Just like how this, you see that there? Just how like this was one cycle. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. You could see it was 3, right? 3 up, 3 down. Let's get 3 back up. So that's kind of the bearish idea, right? So that would be a big WXY. Just to label it, right? So, you know, again, that's going to be, and we're going to find that out as it starts developing in here. So what, you know, and a couple things we can look for. Let's zoom in. So we got to, you know, pay attention what happens in here, right? Because it could be as simple as this is an impulse and this is a 3-wave pullback. And now this is a wave 1. We're going to get a wave 2, and then we're going to start charging our way down. That's not going to be so good, right? I mean, if it's a flat and then it starts to do that, I mean, that's a little bit different, right? But if we kind of get under here and then we kind of get rejected and we start to go down, that's going to be a pivot point where we got to start thinking maybe we're going down into reaccumulation, right? So, you know, this is it right here. And then, you know, just to make it simple, if we go to the daily, the big thing for the daily chart is just staying in the bull market support band. That's all we got to do, right? So we're at the bottom part of it. It's kind of angled up a little bit like that. And this one's angled somewhat like that, right? So what I'll do now is zoom in, and you can kind of see where we are. I mean, we're literally right there at the bottom here. So I would love to see it get a bounce, right? Again, we had a 9. I want to see us, let's zoom in even closer here. Yeah, so if it is a 5th wave, or if it is a 4th wave, we could see, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a little bit kind of like, let's wait and see what happens. Maybe we come down, we get that divergence, and then we want to see it come up. So let's build a base right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Bitcoin here. Let's move on to, like, let's see, Ethereum Classic looking okay. I don't really care about Ethereum Classic. I just like it because of the fractal that we've been looking at. Yeah, same kind of thing. It has that 3-wave shape, and now it's back testing that area, right? So boom, 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 boom. We want to see this. So we want to get a diag shape. So we really need this thing to kick up here. If it starts to come up in 3 and we get rejected, we come back down, and then we break below this, we come up here, we get rejected again. That's going to give you 2 signals, like maybe, you know, we got to challenge these lows again, or even maybe break the low, right? So, yeah, it's really going to come down. And then again, it's not a normal environment. We're in, I've been saying it, election year. So who knows what they're going to try to do, what type of tricks they got up their sleeves this election cycle, because I know there's going to be some sort of chaos. You can mark my words on that. It's not going to be an easy ride, a normal election. There's going to be a lot of chaos, trust me. So it doesn't matter who wins, it's going to be crazy, which could rattle the markets, right? But essentially, we want to get back to the bull market support band, and then we want to flag out, and then we want to break out. I mean, that's really the idea there. Total 3. So total 3 is looking pretty good, right? We're at the upper bounds of the channel. The important thing is staying above the mean, which is this part right there. So we could technically come down and back test these order blocks here on the 2-day chart. You know, so we definitely have a lot of wiggle room, more so I think than Bitcoin does. Which reminds me, I haven't really looked at Bitcoin dominance in a while. Now yesterday, they had a nice, we talked about one, was it, let me see. Yeah, okay, so it was kind of like a 1, 2, 3. Maybe we get 4 and 5. It had a nice 3-wave shape yesterday, but then it kind of rolled over again. So, yeah, I want to see local support get held in here. Look at that. We're on a 4-hour 9. Not bad at all. So, you can see those red dots there. We got a doji here on the 9. Do we have bearish divergence? No, we don't. What about on the 1 hour? Yes. Do we? Not really. It's not really that good. But it's something. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you could say this is an A. Whoops. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. And you can say A, B, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. A, B, C. And now, what's going on now, right? So, obviously, it could keep rolling over. And if it does, then what are we looking for? We want to see it back test this area over here. And that's where we want to find some support. So let's build a base right here and then start attempting. And then once we get in the retracement levels, that's going to be another thing we got to run into. So definitely a lot of work to do, but you know what? It is what it is. So engine's not too bad. We broke this area here. Obviously we could come back down and back test it, right? So engine still hasn't came down and back tested its area. That's probably where it's heading towards. So, you know, and not just engine, but, you know, a lot of them. So you just draw a downward resistance line here. And once we break that line, you kind of have that indicator, right? Simple tool, but it works. XRP. I think we talked about XRP, but XRP USD. Talked about this being, you know, it's a little bit challenging for XRP because it's consolidating. You know, sideways, there's no trend, right? So if there's no trend, it's kind of hard to count. So, but essentially what we have is this could be an A, B, and now we're coming down for C and then go kind of back test this area here, take this liquidity out, take all that liquidity out, and then take it up. So that would suck, but hey, that could potentially what we could see here. Or this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal. And this is maybe an A, a B, and then we get a C here. So 1, 2, we get down here and we continue higher. I mean, that's kind of what I would think if that's a diagonal. What else could it be? Well, there's not too many things I would imagine here. One thing I do like is I like the daily chart, and I like this wave right here. I like how it came down, it took out this low, and it got bought up very fast. And then what it did is it came all the way back down. It retested that area, and then it got bought up again really fast. And now it's still in that same vicinity here, consolidating. So you can see consolidating here, we broke down. Consolidating here, we ended up breaking down. Now we're consolidating again. Maybe third time's a charm, and we can get the heck out of there, right? I mean, that's kind of the idea. So what I would do is I would look at this sort of downward resistance line, and look at that. We're literally right there. So we really don't have so much to go. I can even put it more on the close here. So it's not going through the bodies of the candles, right? But it is a little bit subjective because you're on the wick. You kind of, if you're going to do bodies to bodies, you want it on the body. If you're going to do wick to wick, it's okay if you go through the wicks. Just don't want to go through the bodies. But either way, you kind of want to be conservative anyway with it. But yeah, we have not broken it yet, but we're right there. I mean, this thing's going to continue. This line's going to continue down, right? The supply line. So let's see if the demand line, which is this line here, right? Here's your demand, here's your supply. So which one's going to win, right? So we're kind of coming into this apex here, and it should break by, I would say, the first week of September. So probably next week, we'll see. Other than that, I think that would be it for XRP, Theta, and then I will look at Theta Fuel. Yeah, I mean, you guys know what I think of Theta. I talked about it yesterday. We could probably flag out in here for a little while. Build that shoulder. Let's build that shoulder. But what I would really like to see is another hit to the high. So if I go down to the 4 hour, I really, really, really want another hit to the high. So boom, boom, boom. You see how we're flagging out in here? Whoops. We're flagging out potentially. Let me zoom in on that structure here. Let's go to the 1 hour. Kind of looks like maybe a falling wedge a little bit, or some kind of bull flag here. Yeah, something, right? Maybe even okay, yeah, maybe a WXYXZ. So WXYXZ, or A, and then this is B, and then this is C, and you need one more hit to the low, perhaps. But yeah, but the point is, it's a correction, and I want to see it hit the high. That's what I really want. If we can get that, right, now we can turn the bull market support band on. Look at that. Now it's a little bit closer. Let's put this kind of like right there. Let's at least try to run into it. And then what we can see is some type of flag here. right? So it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we start flagging out in here, and then breakout. So that's what I really want to see. Now, is it possible that we don't get the hit to the high and we start flagging out now? Yes. So that's kind of the two bullish looks that I would give it. And again, we're kind of comparing, you know, that 7-way bottoming crash and how it reacts. You can kind of see another example here in Ethereum. I know I've been showing the XRP example, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? What do? You come up into the bull market support band, and then what do? You flag out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, build a base, and then continue higher, right? So you have that first initial rally, and then you flag out, and that's kind of what I think Fetch kind of looks like too. If I go to Fetch, where you at here? Yeah, so if we look at it, doesn't it kind of look a little bit similar? So what we would expect is something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, build a little bit of a base, and then continue higher. I mean, that's the idea, right? So we should, you know, if that's the case, then we should start coming down now. But if we get another hit to the high, that would be even better, and then we kind of flag out up here, right? So for Theta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's flag out, right? So as far as bearish ideas go, well, Theta still has not yet back tested its area. So look at this. We still have plenty of wiggle room here, right? So, you know, don't be surprised if Theta comes down between $1.16 and $1.22, you know, back testing this area. And then it could be, you know, like a bigger diagonal or a bigger wave 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I would do is take this line, put it right there, and then take that line, put it right there. Okay, so that gives us to about September 3rd. So that's kind of how long we would expect perhaps this wave 4 to be. So maybe we come up here and then we kind of come back down a little bit. So let's flag out in here and then hit the high. I mean, that's what we want. And then have that big flag. So we'll see how it plays out. Let me do Theta Fuel before I forget here. I keep forgetting to look at it. You know what? I mean, it's really the same thing as Theta, honestly, but you know, the structure's a little bit different as far as up here, right? So kind of like A, B, and then a long C. So that's an expanded flat. And I was hoping to see some, let's see, do we have it on the weekly? I can't remember. Nope. Do we even have it on the daily? No. I was saying bullish divergence, so we don't really have it. But here's the big thing for Theta Fuel is we're back testing. We're sort of in this area, right? I mean, you can see all of this resistance, 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 and then we break out of it right here, and now we came all the way back down. Now we're retesting it, right? So that's the inflection. Do we support it and continue higher, or do we break below it, right? That's going to be the big deal. So just like Theta itself, I want to see this come down a little bit more, maybe back test this area, then come up, hit the high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. leading diagonal, let's get an ABC or flag out a little bit, and then continue higher. So that's kind of the route. Down, up, flag out, breakout. So that's kind of the main bullish idea. The bearish idea is, you know, they all really have this kind of three-wave shape. Boom, boom, boom. And, you know, if we lose that backtest area, then it could be we come down very fast and then break this liquidity and go. But if you draw a line here and we come up and we get rejected here, that's going to be the bearish idea. So look out for that. So that's kind of what we're waiting for. And but yeah, so far it's not like impulsing to the downside or anything. It's just having a nice orderly correction. You know, kind of like flagging out a little bit. Let's see, Filecoin here. Same kind of thing, right? You kind of see it moving up, and then it's kind of overlapping its way down, right? And typically when that happens, you get some kind of breakout. Now, will we get through the retracement level and have a fifth wave? Or is it just going to be a three-wave pullback and then a bigger, so A, B, C, like a more complex C wave, back testing down in here and then breaking out, right? So we could get something like that over the next week. Here's one, loop ring. I haven't looked at loop ring in a long time. There's another one I found that's kind of similar to Engine, kind of similar to CRV in a way, where you have this area broke down here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 waves down, breaking below this base, kind of like an ABC in a way. Let's get up here. Let's flag out a little bit, and then hopefully we get that bigger breakout, because I want to see a retracement up here around $1 for loop ring if we do get an alt season, something like that. Now, the bearish idea for loop ring is if we get back up here, and not just loop ring, but all of them, right? Clone, there we go, perfect. If we kind of get back up here and we get rejected and we start coming down, break this low, come back up, we get rejected again, these are going to be the two areas to say, okay, something's wrong. We're probably going a lot lower, right? Because then it would be like, okay, well then this is probably just wave 1, we get wave 2, then we get wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. And now we're like really dead, right? Boom, boom, boom. So then it looks kind of like more symmetrically, right? You could take the length of this and the length of this, and it would make sense, honestly. But you know, you take it off log scale, and it's pretty much down in the dirt anyway. Kind of like resting here a little bit. I mean, the other area would be sort of this box down in here, which if we fell, that would still be a big move down, more than 50%. So here's flow, same thing. Same thing as the rest of the market. Immutable X, IMX, just a couple new coins here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, we're flagging out. I mean, it's really, they're all the same, you know, in a way. CFX, this one's a little different. Kind of like, it kind of looks like it's gonna dump, honestly. That one doesn't look that good. I was kind of hoping it would be like a running flat, like a 1. We have an A, B, C, but we really need to go sideways here. We need to get going quick, or this thing's gonna fall. Yeah, so XRP versus Bitcoin, that's what I wanted to talk about. We got back above the bull market support band and we're holding tight, right? I mean, we've been falling for a long time. We made a nice base in here, right? And kind of broke above a little bit, and now we're kind of consolidating. Maybe pull back a little bit deeper, but I really want to see this thing get going. And that's kind of what it looks like to me. ICP. Kind of got a little double bottom here. Hit the low, came back up, hit the low again. So could this be some kind of triangle? Right? And then we hit the low, we have another low, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, fourth wave triangle, 5, and then go. That's kind of what I would think here. So now that I'm looking at things a little, it seems a little bit more bearish here. But again, it's going to have to prove itself, right? Because this could be a triangle, and we could hit the low here. So hopefully that's not the case, but we'll see. Let's go to the 4 hour here and let me check it out. We're on a 4 hour 9. You know, I want to, you know, it looks like a decent correction. I want to see the thing either backtest this, like most of them here. Boom, 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 right? And then I want to see it break out. I want to see another push. So what's going to happen between today, tomorrow, you know, even today's Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday is going to be the big deal. Especially Thursdays seem to be usually one of the more volatile days. So that'll be interesting to see. Velo, you know, it's got a double bottom. It came up into the bull market support band, and it's kind of flagging out in a way, right? Maybe a running flat here. Could be a nice running flat. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, never mind. That's a fifth wave. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. Come up for B. Come down for C. Go. Something like that. Right, where we back test the lower part of the bull market support band. MATIC, I'm trying to do like a rapid fire here. You can see MATIC went up a lot, and now it's coming down a lot. So MATIC has a lot of wiggle room to the downside. We can come all the way down and back test this. I'm hoping not. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's get up here for 5, and then kind of flag out. So they're really all the same here in a certain sense. Right? Or if we're done now, shoulder, head, shoulder. Let's round out a shoulder in here. Zcash. By the way, hit that like button. I really appreciate that. I mean, it really goes a long way if you guys can do that. Especially, you know, for a smaller channel like mine, helps out considerably. Sometimes I don't hit the like button for certain videos, because then if I hit like, then that means that video is on my liked videos section. And sometimes like I'll hit like so that it kind of like saves the video. But then if I hit like on all the videos, then it's like clutters my like video section. Does that happen to people? I mean, I think that's probably why a lot of people are reluctant to hit like, because they like that liked video section for videos they can go and find, or if they really like and they want to save it, right? But then you have other people who just like videos just out of courtesy, right? So for me, what I did is I actually create like a playlist, or like watch later, Or like if I really like, if I want to save a video, I'll just put it in a playlist. That way I can just kind of clutter my likes, right? If that makes sense. So if I watch a video and the video's kind of starving for some likes, I'll do so. But if I'm watching a video that has millions of views and like 50,000 likes, I mean, I'm not really gonna like it so much. It's gonna take a lot more for me to hit that like button. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like an interesting psychological thing, really, is that like button. But you know what? It does. I find that it does help the algorithms out. But if you're like me and you don't want to hit like because you don't want the video in cluttering that like video section, right, makes it harder to find videos, then even dropping a comment helps too. So anyways, Zcash, yeah, I want to see it get down here and backtest, build a base. Let's backtest around $34. Sheeb. So Sheeb is backtesting. I want to see that. Something like that. So it's kind of good that Monday and Tuesday are red, which hopefully sets up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for green. Or at least Thursday, Friday for green. Look at ADA. It looks pretty nice. Look at that. That's a perfected 9. And we're starting to kind of curl up a little bit. No divergence though. Let's see on the 1 hour chart. Yeah, we definitely have bullish divergence on ADA. So that's a good sign. Let's see if this thing can get some momentum coming back up for at least a retracement here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 waves down, or even, yeah, okay. CRV, man, CRV came down a lot. Look at that. Maybe I might take a stab at it now. Remember, I said, oh well, I got stopped out. What did I do? I didn't chase it. Right? I just let it go, and eventually it will come back, like it's doing right now. That thing's pretty oversold. Man, that thing looks pretty oversold for sure. We got, let's see here. We got pretty extreme hidden bull. Boom, boom. But I don't know. It did go up quite a bit. So one of the things with CRV is it did hit to the high, right? You can see this is what we want to see with the rest of the altcoins, and CRV actually kind of led the way. That's why I kind of like looking at certain coins like this, because you could see it made the roundabout, it came up, it flagged out, and then look what it did. It hit the high. So when we go to something like VeChain or even Theta, where it has this 3-wave look, what do we want to see? We want to see it come up here and hit the high, right? And then what does CRV do afterwards? Now it's dumping. But it's kind of dumping a little bit fast. I would much rather it kind of do something like this here. So hopefully it gets a little bit of support coming in, right? And kind of definitely don't break 24 cents. We don't want to break that low anymore. We want to stay above that. So might be interesting setting up for a buy opportunity soon. I think that would be it. XLM. Yeah, we got a neckline here. Why does it do that? We got kind of a shoulder here, but then it came back underneath, so maybe it's a bigger shoulder. I don't know. I don't really like it right now. I would rather see it if this is an impulse and this is an A, B, and then we come down for C, if we get down here, I think that's a good buy. Not financial advice. I think that would be good. We have a 1, pull back 2, go. Kind of what we want to see here. I mean, you can see, look at that downward resistance line there, right there. So let's break that. You know, kind of a something like that. Okay. I think that's it. I kind of want to do a little bit of a rapid fire. QNT, Zcash. Yeah, we talked about Zcash, Monero. Just kind of looking at all the coins here for a little bit. Yeah, Monero looks pretty decent right now. I'm just wondering if we got to come back down and retest a lower area somewhere in there. But basically, that'll do it for this video. The real thing is, most of the charts look like this, right? So are we going to come down for an ABC? Are we going to come up, hit the high for a 5th wave, leading diag, then flag out later? Or are we going to just simply flag out now? Those are kind of our options here. I mean, of course, you have the bearish option where we come up and we kind of break this, but that's at a later day. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But until then, I think that should do it for this video. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next one. And if you want to drop a comment, and if there's a specific coin, I still got to check comments on earlier videos. Been a little bit hectic right now. My dog is not doing so good. He basically blew his knee out. It's kind of like a torn ACL, but for dogs. And our insurance is giving us problems. They don't want to cover it, and it's just really a big headache. So I mean, it's going to cost I think it was like $6,000 to $8,000 for surgery on his knee. He already has hip dysplasia and arthritis, and he's kind of a heavier dog, so you know his leg is messed up, and then he's putting a lot of weight on his other leg, and now that one's torn too. So he has a lot of he can't even really get up the stairs anymore, and it's really sad. So we're just trying to figure out how the heck we're gonna do all this. But anyway, so that's kind of what I've been dealing with this week and last week too. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.